When the phone rang, everything would change. Ahmed was taking the last sip of his coffee when the phone rang. The tremor in Rabia's voice was unlike anything he had heard in their 20 years of marriage. "Ahmed, please come. Come right now." "What happened, honey?" "Where are you?" "I'm at Maple Street Café." I quote. The voice cut off. Ahmed set his coffee down on the table, his heart pounding in his chest. Rabia never spoke like this. That strong woman, the person who faced every hardship in life with patience, couldn't be this fragile. But what he didn't know yet was that this moment would change their lives forever. As he drove quickly toward Maple Street, thousands of scenarios played out in his mind. Had she been in an accident? Had she gotten sick? Or maybe. It was at this exact point that everything changed. When he entered through the cafe door, the scene Ahmed witnessed shattered his world. Rabia was sitting at a corner table, her headscarf askew, her eyes tearful. Next to her stood a middle-aged white man, holding a paper napkin and trying to offer it to her. "Rabia!" Ahmed ran to her side. When the woman saw her husband, she stood up and threw herself into his arms. "Ahmed, I was so scared, so very scared. What happened? Who did what to you?" Through her tears, Rabia began to tell the story. "I just wanted to order coffee. When I went to the counter, 2 women behind me started talking. They said, 'These terrorists are everywhere now.' They said, 'I don't want to see anyone in a headscarf here.'" Ahmed's fists clenched. The wave of anger inside him was like a rising tsunami. But the truly shocking thing was, "Go on, honey. What happened next?" "I tried to place my order, but the cashier ignored me. I called for customer service. Someone came, but Ahmed, that woman told me, 'We speak English here.' I told her I was speaking English too. Then she said, 'Maybe you should go somewhere else.' The white man standing nearby interjected, 'I saw everything. My name is David Thompson. I witnessed what happened, and it's unacceptable.'" Ahmed thanked David while the storm inside him wouldn't calm. They had been living in this country for 20 years. Rabia worked as a pediatric nurse and had saved countless children's lives. Ahmed had worked as a software engineer at 3 different companies, succeeding at all of them. "Wait a minute. Don't miss this detail." "Mr. David," Ahmed spoke in a calm voice. "Did you record these events?" "Yes, I took a video with my phone. I also saw that the security cameras recorded everything." It was at that moment that a plan began forming in Ahmed's mind. This wasn't just their problem. This was a societal issue that needed to be fought. "Rabia, let's go home, but this incident won't end here. You haven't seen the biggest surprise yet." At home, Ahmed first shared the incident on social media. Along with the video David had provided, he detailed the discrimination they had experienced. He created a hashtag, #Justice for Rabia. But his real plan was something else. Ahmed called his friend from law school, Lisa Martinez. Lisa was now a lawyer specializing in civil rights. "Lisa, I need your help." "Ahmed, we haven't talked in a long time. What happened?" Ahmed explained the incident in detail. The seriousness in Lisa's voice gradually increased. "Ahmed, this is a clear case of discrimination. We can file a lawsuit against both the cafe owners and the employees. But more importantly, we can create social awareness by making this incident public. What you're seeing now is nothing." The next day, Ahmed and Rabia went to Maple Street Café with Lisa. This time they had a different purpose, to file a formal complaint and speak with the cafe manager. The cafe owner, Jennifer Walsh, seemed to understand the seriousness of the situation when she met them. 2 lawyers stood behind her. "Mr. Ahmed, we're sorry about what your wife experienced, but there's no need to blow this out of proportion." Ahmed spoke in a calm but determined voice. "Ms. Jennifer, my wife is a citizen of this country. As a nurse, she serves this country's children. She just wanted to have coffee and face discrimination. This is something that needs to be blown out of proportion. You won't believe this, but one of the lawyers next to Jennifer Walsh stepped forward. This incident could be the result of a misunderstanding. Our employee was having a stressful day. David Thompson entered the cafe at that moment. He had a folder in his hand. "I'm sorry for interrupting your conversation." but there are things in this folder you need to know." David placed the folder on the table. The documents he pulled out changed Jennifer Walsh's facial expression. "What is this?" Jennifer asked. "Records of similar discrimination incidents that have occurred at this cafe in the last 6 months. Complaints made on social media, customer reviews, even some of your employees' previous racist posts. Just when we thought we were completely safe, a new danger emerges." Ahmed's phone rang. The caller was Sarah Rodriguez, a reporter from the local television station. "Mr. Ahmed, we saw the incident you shared on social media. We'd like to do an interview about this. Are you ready?" Ahmed looked at Rabia. In his wife's eyes, there was no longer fear, but determination. "Yes, we're ready," Ahmed said. This was the last chance. Jennifer Walsh began whispering frantically with her lawyers. She realized the situation was getting out of control. "Wait," Jennifer said, "maybe we can resolve this matter here." Lisa Martinez interjected, "Ms. Jennifer, it's too late now. My clients have already filed a formal complaint. Additionally, we will pursue this case at the federal level as a civil rights violation." Ahmed stood up. "This isn't just our case. This is the case of all minorities living in this country. No one should face discrimination because of their identity." It was too late now, but a week later, the crowd gathered in front of Maple Street Café surprised Ahmed and Rabia. Hundreds of people had come with banners reading, "No hate in our neighborhood." Pastor Williams, Rabbi Cohen, Imam Hassan, and other religious leaders were there, as well as the mayor. "This isn't just a cafe incident," the mayor said into the microphone. "This is about protecting our community's values." When Ahmed took the microphone, his hand trembled slightly. "Dear neighbors, the reason we're here today isn't hate, but love. We're here to seek justice." Everyone had learned the truth, but the real shock. Rabia also took the microphone and spoke. "I am a nurse of this country. When I treat children in the hospital, I never ask about their religion or race because love is universal. Today, we're here with love and patience." Applause rose from the crowd. Jennifer Walsh came out of the cafe door and walked toward the microphone. There was a deep expression of regret on her face. "I owe the community a public apology," she said. "What happened is unacceptable. As a cafe, we will provide tolerance and diversity training to all our employees. We will also donate to local civil rights organizations." When they thought it was over, Ahmed's phone rang again. This time the caller was the president of a national civil rights organization. "Mr. Ahmed, your story has resonated across the country. We'd like to make you an offer." "What kind of offer?" "Would you like to work with us as civil rights advocates, to follow similar cases and create awareness?" Ahmed looked at Rabia. The light in his wife's eyes gave him his answer. The voice on the phone was familiar, but 3 months later, Ahmed and Rabia became founding members of a civil rights organization called United We Stand. Ahmed became the technology coordinator, and Rabia became the community outreach coordinator. In their first projects, they met with families who had experienced similar discrimination and provided them with legal support. Thanks to Rabia's nursing experience and Ahmed's technology knowledge, they established an effective system. David Thompson also joined the organization as a volunteer. "I should have stayed silent that day at the cafe," he would always say, "but I did the right thing. Don't miss this detail." A year later, the system Ahmed and Rabia had established was expanded statewide. More than 200 discrimination cases were resolved. Maple Street Café was now known as the Tolerance Center. Jennifer Walsh had transformed the cafe into an intercultural meeting point. Last minute. That evening, as Ahmed was walking with Rabia in Sunset Park, Rabia said, "I was scared when the phone rang that day. But now I understand that moment was a beginning for us." "Every difficulty has wisdom," Ahmed said. "Maybe we needed to experience this incident so we could serve a greater purpose." And that's when, as they sat in the park, a little girl came up to them. She had a flower in her hand. "Are you Uncle Ahmed and Aunt Rabia?" she asked. "Yes, sweetie, we are." My mom saw you on TV. She said, they chose good over evil. This flower is for you. Ahmed and Rabia looked at each other. The little girl's innocence reminded them once again of the value of their struggle. Final twist. 2 years passed. Ahmed and Rabia's story was made into a movie in Hollywood, but their real success was the expansion of the system they had established to 50 states and thousands of people achieving justice. From that day to today, every time they drink coffee, they remember that moment at Maple Street Café. Because that moment was a turning point not just for them, but for society. And the final word. Sometimes life tests us, Ahmed now says in seminars, but the real test is who we choose to be in the face of those difficulties. We chose love, justice, and patience, and this choice changed both our lives and society's life. Rabia also adds, remember, every one of our voices matters. Whether we stay silent or speak, we make a choice. We chose to speak, and our voice found an echo. The story doesn't end here. Following this story, hundreds of similar stories were born. The people Ahmed and Rabia encouraged started their own struggles, because sometimes a single phone call, a single moment, can change the entire world. And this change is still continuing. The end.